A very good morning to all my dear students. I hope you are very happy. And in the last week, I have written a home test also, and many of you have written the test, and many of you send the answer to me through the WhatsApp. Some students put small mistakes. I told you to correct that mistakes also. So I really appreciate those who have written the test successfully. So this week you have no test, but you don't waste your time. Regularly study all the subjects. Okay, so all day every day study all the subjects, and you prepare yourself for the next test also. Okay, so I hope you are study. Okay, so okay, shall we move to the topic? Okay, see, in the last class we started the fourth lesson. Okay, in the fourth lessons also many topics already we have completed, particularly the ABO blood grouping, then the sex determination, like that many topics already we have completed. So today also we are going to study about two more important topics. Okay, so in this class we are going to study about two more important topics. The first topic is sex linked inheritance. Today's our first topic is sex linked inheritance. Here inheritance meaning transformation from generation to generation is called inheritance. Okay, transformation from generation to one generation to next generation is called inheritance. Here sex linked inheritance meaning the transformation of a characters determined by a gene located in the sex chromosome is called sex linked inheritance. Listen very carefully. The transformation or the inheritance of traits or inheritance of characters determined by a gene located in the sex chromosome is called sex linked inheritance. You all know in human body, in male body, there are two types of sex chromosomes are there. One X chromosome and one Y chromosome. But in female, only one type of sex chromosome, X chromosomes. Okay, so in female body, two X chromosomes are there. But in male body, one X chromosome and one Y chromosomes are there. Okay, so if a character is determined by a genes and the gene is located in any one of the sex chromosome is called sex linked inheritance. Understand? Suppose the gene is located in the X chromosome, it is called X linked inheritance. Suppose the gene is located in the Y chromosome, it is called Y linked inheritance. So the sex linked inheritance is classified into two types. One is X linked inheritance and another one is called Y linked inheritance. I hope you all understood all these points. So once again repeat, here sex linked inheritance meaning the inheritance of characters determined by a gene located in any one of the sex chromosome is called sex linked inheritance. And the sex linked inheritance are divided into or categorized into two types. One is X linked inheritance and the second one is Y linked inheritance. So first you are going to study about two examples for this X-linked inheritance. Two examples for X-linked inheritance. Listen very carefully. See, our first example is hemophilia. Our first example is hemophilia. This hemophilia disorder maximum affecting the male than the female. Okay, hemophilia disorder affecting the male than the female. And this hemophilia disorder is otherwise called bleeder disease, because if any person is affected with this disorder or diseases, the blood will not clot in their body. If any small injuries occur in their body, the blood will not clot. The blood is always bleeding. So that this disease is always called bleeder disease. Understand of you? So now I said two important points about this hemophilia. The first point is this disease affecting the men than women. And the second point is this disease is also known as bleeder disease. Okay, and this disease was first discovered by a scientist. His name is called John Cato. Okay, John Cato in the year of 1803. He only first identified this hemophilia disorder in the human body. Understand? So listen very carefully. Normally, a substance is present in our blood. Name of that substance is blood. It has many substances. one important substance present in our blood is called thromboplastin. This thromboplastin playing a very important role in the blood clotting. If a small injuries or any injuries occur in our body, within few minutes the blood will clot on the outer surface of the body. It is due to the presence of this thromboplastin substance. Understand? So, if any person is affected by this disorder, this thromboplastin substance is not produced properly, because the genes responsible for the production of this thromboplastin is in a recessive condition. So when the genes responsible for the production of this thromboplastin is in recessive condition, these recessive genes unable to produce the thromboplastin substance. Understand? So the persons, if any injury, small injuries occur in their body, the blood will not clot. Continuously the blood is bleeding, and finally it leads to death. Understand? And the females, already I told you, this disease maximum affecting the male than the female, and the females are the carriers. Females are act as a carrier, and maximum 50% of the disease is transmitted from the mother to son only. I hope you all understood about this hemophilia. So once again repeat all the points about this hemophilia. See, hemophilia disorder maximum affecting the male than female. And the second point, this disease is otherwise called bleeder disease. And the third point I said about this disease is, this disease was first identified by a person. His name is John Cato, and he identified this disorder in the year of 1803. Okay. Then the next point. See, a substance present, a blood clotting substance is present in our blood. Name of that substance is called thromboplastin. So the thromboplastin substance only responsible for the blood clotting. Okay, and one particular gene is controlling the production of this thromboplastin. If the gene is in recessive condition, the recessive gene unable to produce the thromboplastin, so the blood will not clot in that affected persons. So continuously bleeding, finally it leads to death. Okay, and maximum 50% of this disorder is transferred from the mother to son, not to the daughter. I hope you all understood about this hemophilia. Then second one is color blindness. Second example for this X-linked inheritance is the color blindness. See, listen very carefully. See, normally there are two types of cells are present in our cornea region of the eye. Okay, so in the eye region, many areas are there. Sorry, retina region, not cornea, retina region. So the eye has many regions. Okay, many layers. So the retina region is one of the important region of our eye. So this retina region consists of two important types of cells. Okay, and one type of cell is called a rod cell, and the second type of cell is called cone cells. Okay, so millions of rod cells and cone cells are present in the retina region of our eye. Here, the main or the major function of our cone cell is, these cone cells only are responsible for the vision of colors. Okay, vision of colors. So now we are seeing different types of colors. So this function is due to the presence of the cone cells present in the retina region of our eyes. Understand a few? Here, if any person is affected with this color blindness problem or color blindness disorder, the genes responsible for the production of cone cell is in recessive condition. So the recessive formed genes unable to produce cone cells. So that person is unable to distinguish important colors like red to green. Understand a few? So here color blindness meaning, so it's a disorder. This disorder is due to the X-linked inheritance disorder. Okay, it's an example for the X-linked inheritance disorder. And here the genes are responsible for the production of the cone cells is affected, is in recessive condition. So the recessive conditioned genes unable to produce the cone cells, so that particular person is unable to distinguish some important colors like blue, green and red. So this condition is called color blindness. I hope you all understood this point. Then listen very carefully. This color blindness disease or disorder is transmitted from one person to another person, from one generation to next generation, by two types of marriages. Listen very carefully. See, the first one is Marriage between a CBM. Here CBM means color blindness male. So marriage between a color blindness male and a normal woman. Okay, so listen very carefully. This color blindness disorder is transferred from one generation to next generation by two types of marriages. The first one is marriage between a color blindness man and normal woman. See, when a color blindness male marry a normal woman, listen very carefully, color blindness man marry a normal woman in the first generation, the young ones may be a normal male or a normal female. So in the first generation, if female baby is born to them, the female may be in carrier condition. The female is in normal but carrier. Listen very carefully. When a color blindness man marry a normal woman, in the first generation there is a chance for the production of one normal male or a normal female. If it is normal female, the female may be in carrier condition. Then next step. When this carrier F1 generation, carrier female, okay, F1 generation, carrier female, marry a normal man, the next generation, there is a chance for the production of one normal female, one normal male, one carrier female and one color blindness male. So listen very carefully. Already I told you this color blindness disease is transmitted from one generation to next generation by two types of marriages. In the first type of marriage I explained you, once again I repeat. See, the first type of marriage, the marriage is between color blindness man and a normal woman. When a color blindness man marry a normal woman in the first generation, there may be a chance for the production of normal male or a normal female. If it is female baby, the female baby is in carrier condition. When this F1 generation normal female, normal carrier female marrying a normal man, the next generation they will produce one normal female, one normal male or one carrier female or one carrier color blindness man. Sorry, not carrier, color blindness man. So this is the first type of marriage. And the second type of marriage is marriage between a color blindness woman and normal man. Marriage between a color blindness woman and normal man. Okay, listen very carefully. See, when a color blindness woman marry a normal man in the first generation, they will produce a color blindness male or a normal female baby. Color blindness male baby or a normal female baby. If it is a normal female, it may be carrier. It may be carrier. Then the next generation, when this normal female, normal carrier female marrying a color blindness man, the next generation there is a chance for one carrier female, one color blindness female, one normal male and one color blindness male. Understand? So there are, by these two types of marriages, this color blindness is transferred from one generation to next generation, from transfer from the parents to the young ones. Understand all of you? So now we have completed two examples for this X-linked inheritance. Then now we are going to study about only one example for the Y-linked inheritance. Y-linked inheritance, meaning you all know that, already I told you. If the gene is located in the Y chromosome, it is called Y-linked inheritance. It is called Y-linked inheritance. See, and this Y-linked inheritance is transferred only from the father to son, not father to daughter. Because you all know two types of chromosomes, sex chromosomes are present in the father body. One chromosome is X and one chromosome is Y. But in mother's body, only one type of sex chromosome is there. Both these two sex chromosomes are there. Two X chromosomes. Okay, two X chromosomes are present in the mother's body, but in father's body, one X chromosome and one Y chromosome. Here our disorder is Y-linked inheritance. Okay, so this disorder is transferred from the father to son, not father to daughter. Understand? And the example for this disorder is hypertrichosis. Here, hypertrichosis meaning excessive growth of hair in the pinna region of the ear. So this region is called pinna region. So in some male body, okay, in some males, the hair, the pinna region has many hairs. Okay, having many hairs. So this condition is called hypertrichosis. Understand of you? So I hope you all understood this sex-linked inheritance. Understand of you? Then. Then our next topic is karyotyping. Karyotyping. Listen very carefully. See, karyotyping is a technique. Okay, it is a technique. With the help of this technique, we can separate all the complete set of chromosomes from our body cells. You all know there are 46 chromosomes are present in our body cells. All these 46 chromosomes can be separated from our cell by using this karyotyping technique. Okay, and by using this karyotyping technique. Understand a few? Okay, now we are going to study about how this karyotyping is preparing. Okay, how this karyotyping technique is performed in the human body. See, this karyotyping technique was first discovered by two scientists. One scientist name is called Tijo, and the second scientist name is called Levin. Okay, so these two people, okay, Tijo and Levin, these two people only togetherly discovered this karyotyping technique in the year of 1960. In the year of 1960. So karyotyping meaning already I told you, it is a technique. With the help of this technique, the complete set of chromosomes can be separated from the cell. Understand a few? Then, see, to do this karyotyping technique, first they culture some blood cells. Okay, lymphocytes. See, in our blood there are three different types of cells are there: RBC, WBC, and platelets. Then there are 5 types of WBCs are there. Okay, see, lymphocyte is one of the important type of WBC present in our blood. Okay, so to do this karyotyping technique, first lymphocyte cells are cultured. Okay, lymphocyte cells are cultured. So just imagine these are the lymphocyte cells. Okay, lymphocyte cell. Then here one chemical is added. Name of that chemical is called colchicine. Okay, colchicine. Colchicine is chemical is added in this lymphocyte. When this colchicine is added inside this lymphocyte, immediately this chemical, this colchicine, stop the mitotic cell division in the metaphase stage. Okay, so the mitotic cell division has many stages. You all know prophase, anaphase, metaphase, telophase. So the cell division is stopped during the metaphase stage. Now, this metaphase stage lymphocytes are kept under the electron microscope and photograph is taken. Okay, by using the electron microscope, the metaphase stage cells are photographed. Then the individual also, when we take photograph, we can identify all the 46 chromosomes present in the lymphocytes. Understand? Then from the photograph, all the chromosomes are separated, okay, and arranged in a pair. Arranged in a pair. You all know the 46 chromosomes are arranged in 23 pairs. Okay, so by using this karyotyping technique, first, in this karyotyping technique, first lymphocyte cells are cultured. Then colchicine is added in the lymphocyte. When we add the colchicine, automatically the cell division is stopped during the metaphase stage. Now this metaphase stage cells are kept under the electron microscope to take photograph. Understand? From the photograph, the individual chromosomes are cut off, and these chromosomes are arranged in a graph. So this is called what? Karyotyping technique. This technique is called karyotyping technique. So I hope you all understand how to prepare this karyotyping. Understand a few? Understand? Then application, the uses of karyotyping. the uses or the application of karyotyping. Okay, the first application is gender. Gender meaning you all know. So with the help of this karyotyping technique, we can identify the sex of the fetus. Fetus meaning you all know. The embryo, the baby which is developing or growing inside the uterus of the mother is called a fetus. So we can identify the sex of the fetus by using this karyotyping technique. So this is the first application of karyotyping. Then the second application is chromosomal aberration. Chromosomal aberration meaning chromosomal abnormalities. Example, deletion, duplication, translocation. So these are some of the examples for the chromosomal aberration. Okay, chromosomal abnormalities. So with the help of this karyotyping technique, we can identify the chromosomal abnormalities. Abnormalities of the chromosome. Abnormality of the chromosomes, already told you, deletion, duplication, addition, translocation. These are some of the examples for the chromosomal abnormalities. Then third application is aneuploidy. Okay, aneuploidy meaning in some cells, because of the problem during the cell division, one or more chromosomes may lose or increase. This condition is called aneuploidy. Okay, this condition is called aneuploidy. So during the when any problems takes place during the cell division, in some cells, one or more chromosomes are decreasing, or in some cells, one or more chromosomes are increasing. This condition is called aneuploidy. So, these type of aneuploidy also can be detected with the help of this karyotyping. Then, fourth one is evolution. Okay, evolution. See, with the help of this karyotyping technique, we can understand the evolutionary relationship between the species. Evolutionary relationship between the species. You all know there are a large number of species are living in the world. Okay, but according to the evolution, history of evolution, there is a connection is there between the species. Okay, connection is there between some species. So these relationships, these evolutionary relations can be detected with the help of this karyotyping technique. Some of you, the last use is this technique is used to identify or detect genetic diseases. Okay, so now I explain 5 important uses or 5 important applications of this karyotyping. The first application is this technique is used to identify the sex of the fetus, used to identify the gender. The second use is this technique is used to identify the chromosomal aberration or chromosomal abnormalities. So this technique is used to understand the chromosomal abnormalities of the cell, human cell. Here chromosomal abnormalities, many examples I said. Deletion, translocation, then duplication. These are some of the examples for the chromosomal aberration. Okay. Then next one is the third use is it is used to identify the aneuploidy. This is used to identify the aneuploidy. Aneuploidy meaning already told. Because of some problems during cell division, one or more chromosomes are increasing in a cell or decreasing in a cell. This condition is called aneuploidy. Okay, this condition is called aneuploidy. Then next one is evolution. This technique is used to understand the evolutionary relationship between the species. And the last one is this technique. With the help of this technique, we can identify or detect some genetic diseases. Okay, next class we will study about some genetic diseases. Then, so now we completed karyotyping, preparation of karyotyping, then application of karyotyping. Understand you? Then next one is human karyotyping. Listen very carefully. Totally 46 chromosomes are present in our cell, and all these 46 chromosomes are arranged in 23 pairs. First 44 chromosomes are called autosomes, and the last chromosome 45th and 46th chromosomes are called sex chromosomes. So 46 chromosomes are there arranged in 23 pairs. First 44 chromosomes, that means first 22 chromosomes are 22 pairs of chromosomes are called autosomes, and the last pair, that means the 45th and 46th chromosomes are called sex chromosomes. Understand? Listen very carefully. All these 23 pairs of chromosomes are arranged in 7 groups by using the karyotyping technique. Group A, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So all the 23 pairs of chromosomes are arranged in on these 7 groups by using the karyotyping. The first group name is called Group A, Group B, Group C, Group D, Group E, Group F, and Group G. Understand all of you? Understand all of you? See. First pair, second pair, and third pair. These 3 pairs are arranged in the A group. Then 4th and 5th pair of chromosomes are arranged in B group. Then 6 to 12th chromosome, 12th pair of chromosomes are arranged in C group. Okay. Then 13, 14, 15th pair is arranged in D group. 16, 17, 18th pair is arranged in E group. 19 and 20th pair is arranged in F group. 21st and 22nd pair is arranged in G group. Understand all of you? So all these 23 pairs, among these 23 pair of chromosome, now first 22 pair of chromosome, that means the autosomes are arranged in the 7 groups. And already told you the last group is called sex chromosome. So here this X chromosomes are located in the C group and the Y chromosomes are located in the G group. I hope you all understood. Then you should remember very important point. All these chromosomes are arranged in the 7 group based on their structure. Based on their structure. See, you all know the structure of chromosome. The center region, chromatids, centromere is there, and the opposite side, what is there? Chromatids are there. Isn't it? So based on the position of the centromere and based on the nature of these chromatids, the chromosomes are classified into 3 categories. One is metacentrics. Okay, this chromosome is called metacentric. Metacentric meaning the centromere is present in the center region and the chromatids, both arms are in equal length. The second one is submetacentric meaning one arm or one chromatid is high length and the second arm is very short. So this type of chromosome is called submetacentric chromosome. Understand? And the last one is telocentric, meaning both chromatids are located in one side and the centromere is located on the next side. So based on the structure of these chromosomes, the chromosomes are classified into 3 types. One is metacentric, submetacentric, and telocentric. So based on the structure only, all these 46 chromosomes are arranged in 23 pairs and all these 23 pair of chromosomes are arranged in 7 groups. So I hope you all understood this human karyotyping. So one more questions also there. For example, in which group the X chromosome is located, or in which group the Y chromosomes are located, like that one more question may be asked. Understand a few? Understand? Then the last topic, one important 2 more questions. Pedigree analysis. The last topic is called pedigree analysis. Here pedigree analysis meaning analyzing of a characters or traits appeared in the family members for past few generations. Analysis of a characters appeared in the members of a particular family and these characters are continuously transmitted from one generation to the next in the first few generations. So this is called pedigree analysis. Understand? This is called pedigree analysis. Understand? Then this pedigree analysis is done by using some symbols. So by using some symbols only, this pedigree analysis is done by some scientists. And by using the symbols, they are drawing a tree-like structure. So this tree-like structure is called family tree. Okay, by using some symbols, standard symbols, some tree-like structures are drawing to explain the to analyze the pedigree. So this condition is called pedigree analysis. Okay, my dear students, today we have completed two important topics. The first major topic is sex-linked inheritance, and already I clearly explained the meaning of this word sex-linked inheritance and the types of sex-linked inheritance and the example for the sex-linked inheritance. Then I explain about this karyotyping. Okay, karyotyping meaning is a technique. With the help of this technique, the complete set of chromosomes is separated from the cells, and all these chromosomes are arranged in a pair. Here also many important 1 mark questions are there. For example, the chemicals which is used to stop the mitosis cell division during the metaphase stage. What is the name of that chemical? Colchicine. Okay, and another one example, this colchicine stop the cell division, okay, or arrest the cell division in which stage? Metaphase stage. Like that, many 1 mark questions also there. Understand? So karyotyping over, then in the karyotyping also definition we have completed. Then how this karyotyping technique is performed we studied. Then the applications of karyotyping we studied, and human karyotyping we studied, and finally we completed about this pedigree analysis. So here pedigree analysis meaning analysis of characters appeared in a family in the members of the family for past few generations is called pedigree analysis. I hope you all understood this class. Today itself try to complete all these question answers. The sex-linked inheritance important 5 mark question, and in karyotyping also many 3 mark questions and 2 mark questions and 1 mark questions also there. Then this pedigree analysis is a very important 2 mark question. I hope you all will study. Okay, so after completing, you write the answer and send to me to my WhatsApp number. I will correct, and if you put any mistake, I will correct it. Okay, thank you. We'll meet in the next class.